and just how well China is doing compared to Western speculations. And so the tech war, the article is titled China Memory Chip Maker CXMT May Have Made a Breakthrough Amid U.S. Sanctions, a research paper indicates, and this is from Yahoo Finance. So a leading Chinese memory chip maker may have achieved another technological breakthrough, according to a third-party analysis. A leading Chinese memory chip maker, China's top dynamic random access memory developer, this week presented a paper to the 69th annual IEEE meeting in San Francisco, giving an indication of its design capabilities for gate-all-around transistors, the most advanced transistor type for cutting-edge 3-nanometer grade chips. So we were talking about how China would take decades to get to 7-nanometer chips for production capacity. They've done that already. They've come up with 5-nanometer production capacity chips, and now they're already working on the 3-nanometer, which is considered either the most advanced or almost the most advanced, like second generation from most advanced type of chip. So while CXMT has not provided sample product, evidence that the Chinese company has an understanding of next generation memory chip production has grabbed the attention of industry analysts, as the design of such chips typically involve technologies that are subject to U.S. export restrictions. So the United States is just completely ineffective here. Their trade war has been more of a detriment to the United States and its allies than it has been to China. So as an example here, South Korea used to have a trade surplus with China, primarily because of its semiconductors, and now China is exporting more to South Korea than South Korea is exporting to China. And so South Korea has lost because of this American trade war with China. The article goes on to say, CXMT, China's leading DRAM manufacturer, just presented the gate all-around vertical channel transistor. This tweet says in Q&A, question and answer, they slipped up and mentioned the pitch. This breaks the U.S. sanctions. Okay, so they weren't supposed to announce this so quickly. Frederick Chen, a memory chip expert at Winbond Electronics, a Taiwan-based company, said the evidence of progress by CXMT is impressive as it shows that the Chinese company is not far away from state-of-the-art research and products. It's significant because Samsung Electronics is trying to do the same. In a statement to the South China Morning Post on Wednesday, CXMT said the paper describes fundamental research related to DRAM structure and the feasibility of 4F2 design. It has nothing to do with CXMT's current production processes, suggesting that the design of paper is far from becoming a marketable product. Okay, so they're still on the 7-nanometer and 5-nanometer then. Any accusation of CXMT is violating U.S. sanctions or export controls is completely inaccurate. The company's export control experts said, we firmly believe that the free flow of ideas that IEDM seeks to foster is essential for the industry's innovation and development. CXMT said 2 weeks ago that it had produced China's first lower power double data R rate 5, so LPDDR5 DRAM chip, narrowing its gap with leading players such as South Korea's Samsung SK Hynix. Oh, that's interesting. So I use DDR5 in my computer, so I'm surprised that China is already there. Well, not too surprised, but you get the gist of it. Because of the trade war, people expected China to be doing worse than it currently is doing. So like other Chinese chip makers, CXMT is subject to broad U.S. export restrictions targeting the country, but the company has not been added to Washington's entity list like Wuhan-based rival Yangtze Memory Technology Company, so YMTC. In an escalating tech war with China, the U.S. Bureau of Industry and Security in October set an even higher export bar on a slew of gear needed for key chip manufacturing, including lithography, etching, deposition, implant, and cleaning, doubling down on its efforts to cap China's chip making capabilities. So that's been largely ineffective, and the United States has been trying to figure out some other alternative, and they've just not come up with anything that will actually be successful at halting China's progress. Founded in 2016, CXMT represents China's best hope to catch up with South Korean memory chip giant Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix, and US-based micron technology in the global DRAM market. Dylan Patel, chief analyst at San Francisco-based semiconductor research firm SemiAnalysis, acknowledged that CXMT paper in a post on X, saying the company's progress with the most advanced transistor architecture breaks U.S. sanctions. Patel highlighted an excerpt from the paper that states, "We have successfully fabricated the junctionless GAA vertical channel transistor with a hexagonal capacitor to realize a compact DRAM architecture." In August 2022, the U.S. Commerce Department slapped export controls on 4 semiconductor-related technologies, including software specially designed for the development of integrated circuits with gate-all-around transistor structure. These 4 technologies are also covered by the multilateral 1996 Wassenaar Arrangement on Export Controls for Conventional Arms and Dual-Use Goods and Technologies, of which China is not a member. Since the imposition of controls, analysts have said the electronic design automation software constraints would affect China's ability to develop advanced 3-nanometer process design and fabrication, but China has proved its resilience with Huawei technology, surprising the world with its 5G-capable Mate 60 Pro smartphone powered by a homegrown chip earlier this year. And I believe the one in that is a 7-nanometer, which again is a few generations behind cutting edge, but it's something that was not expected from China for at least another decade. CXMT has also been developing high bandwidth memory chips, a type of memory that has seen growing adoption for AI applications to hike data transfer speeds between memory stack and processors, the Post report earlier. Okay, so artificial intelligence, things like large language models are going to become increasingly important in upcoming decades. And it is entirely possible that self-updating artificial intelligence becomes a reality within a few decades, so-called singularity. And China wants to be at the head of artificial intelligence whenever that possibility arises, because that would put it at the truly at the end of history unless something catastrophic happens to the Chinese civilization. And so for them, they have to, it's imperative that they modernize and become the cutting edge leading country when it comes to artificial intelligence, because artificial intelligence is the future. I don't think people believed that before things like ChatGPT, but I talked about that in my classes. And it seems like more and more people are starting to believe that artificial intelligence is hugely important for being the best in the upcoming world that's being created. So moving on with the article, research on GAA dates back to 2000. GAA is considered important to the development of next generation logic chips because it can allow continued transistor scaling, meaning packing more transistors on an integrated circuit, as leading chip making processes at global foundries such as TSMC and Samsung edge further below 3 nanometers. So global memory semiconductor giant Samsung started developing GAAs in 2017 for application to 3 nanometer process, with mass production of the world's first 3 nanometer GAA process in 2022. Okay, so there was a 5-year turnaround from when they started to when they actually had production quality 3 nanometer chips. And so typically what happens is if you are following in the footsteps of others, you can speed up that process. So if it was 5 years for South Korea to do this, then we can expect within, I'd probably say somewhere around 2027, at really the latest, for mass production of 3 nanometer chips for China at this point. That's my guess. Just because they've shown in other regards that they're able to speed up processes that former cutting edge groups, organizations were able to do when it came to innovation. The technology, so the article goes on to say, the technology requires special EDA software, an area in which China lags behind global peers, but they are working on it. Engineers require such software to design ICs, and the market is dominated by US-based firms, Cadence Design Systems, Synopsys, and Mentor Graphics. Meanwhile, Bloomberg reported on Tuesday that CXMT is delaying its initial public offering, citing people familiar with the situation will instead consider raising funds at a valuation of about 140 billion won, which is almost $20 billion in the United States, becoming the latest Chinese company to call off a debut because of volatile market conditions. And so this is another article that gets into a very important topic, which is China is able to defeat the United States in every realm. China is a fortress country, so the United States can't win militarily. They know that from war simulations that they've conducted. The United States cannot win in terms of the political, diplomatic realm. They've been losing. They've been in full retreat across the entire world. The United States cannot win in the trade realm because they've been losing in terms of competition. They cannot win in the economic realm. Things are very cheap in China. China has a good handle on things. And so the United States is just losing across the board. I talk about it. It's terminal decline. And all indications are in the upcoming years, we're going to see even more innovations, even more surprises, or it's surprises if you're not watching this channel, from China, because China is a very successfully run country, a very competently run country. So if you found this video to be helpful, informative, anything like that, please give us a thumbs up. It does help us in the algorithm. Please subscribe to our channel for more content on both YouTube and Rumble. We're being suppressed in the algorithm on YouTube. It's very clear about that, particularly around topics. Whenever I start discussing Zionism, my impressions go to 0 on videos. It's not pushed to the algorithm. So if you could help us by word of mouth, telling people about our channel, anyone you think maybe we could open their eyes to things that are going on in the world, we'd appreciate it if you told people about our channel. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, critiques, please leave that in the comment box below. I do read all of them, and I do try to respond when necessary. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye.